The AquaChanger 240 from LEPA is designed to complement your CPU overclocks with superior thermal dissipation and performance. Dual convex blades on the 120mm fans deliver high volume airflow at low noise, and the protrusive copper plate deploys more coolant for efficient CPU hotspot elimination. Click the link in the description to find out more. What's up guys, today I'm taking a look at the Enthoo Evolv from Phanteks. If you'd been following this year's Computex coverage, you might have caught wind of their ATX version of this case, which just hit stores earlier this month. But the one I have here with me today is the original Micro ATX model that's been out for quite some time now. Now that being said, this is the first product from Phanteks I've actually reviewed on the channel, so I'm quite excited to finally see what all the hype surrounding their Enthoo line of chassis is all about. So digging right in, the exterior of the case incorporates a sleek modern design comprised of 4 aluminum panels that converge beautifully at the front with their cool subtle curves. The case comes in your choice of white, black, or silver and can be picked up for about $130 USD. It's definitely not the cheapest Micro ATX case we've seen, but I can already tell from the outstanding build quality of the side panels that there's more to this case that makes it worth the premium price tag. The panels do veer towards the glossy side, but minimal reflectivity and fingerprint visibility, at least on the white model, make the Evolv's contemporary aesthetic easy on the eyes, and if I'm speaking personally, one of the best looking Micro ATX chassis currently available. Fortunately, this case isn't just about good looks, as we get our first sign of Phanteks' ingenuity with their fully toolless panel design. All 4 panels simply pop on and off with the help of several small latches, however both side panels remain partially attached, allowing them to swing open gracefully. To completely remove either panel, simply lift up off of its 2 sturdy metal hinges, and voila! There's also foam padding along both sides of the frame to prevent any accidental scuffs. Taking off the front panel reveals a large removable dust filter with an optional plastic piece for additional airflow, and the single 200mm intake fan can be replaced for a dual 120 or single 140 radiator for front side water cooling. When popped back into place, the front panel also leaves just enough gap around its edges to facilitate healthy airflow. Near the bottom is a white LED strip to indicate power status, and Phanteks has even included 3 additional LEDs in red, blue, or green, which can easily be swapped out to complement the color scheme of your rig. While we're on the topic of accessories, here's a quick look at the case's mounting screws, which come packaged in this beautiful hardshell toolbox. Competing case vendors still using plastic bags for their accessories declined to comment on the fancy packaging because they were out getting food stamps. Lining the sides of the top panel are stylishly thin ventilation slots, which would cause concern for insufficient exhaust if it weren't for the wide opening in the rear. Oddly enough, we don't get the same ventilation at the front, which would have definitely helped the hot air escape that much quicker. Under the hood, we get adjustable mounting points for 240 or 280mm radiators, making this case out to be an excellent choice for compact custom water cooling. Also, this probably goes without saying, but never use the top panel of the case as a carrying handle, unless of course it's the only thing you plan on bringing. An attractive window on the left side panel sports a tall and narrow profile, which lets you appreciate the prettier components of your finished build, though you'll probably want a few LEDs inside of the case to see clearly through the heavy tint. Our front I/O is found on the right side of the case with power and reset up top and USB 3 plus mic and headphone jacks below. While I appreciate that the ports are fixed to the actual case for cleaner panel removal, the fact that a computer usually sits to the left or right of a person technically makes these right-sided ports an inconvenience for 50% of the population. Naturally, whoever plans to set this case on their right-hand side better get used to the old reach around. On the back, we see yet another example of the case's creativity with a single 5¼ drive bay. Clearly, Phanteks prioritizes the front of the case for cooling, so perhaps this clever yet awkward cage placement would be better utilized for something like a reservoir than an actual optical drive. For exhaust, you get more adjustable mounting strips for a pre-installed 140mm fan or a 120mm replacement, and just beneath are 4 white expansion slots for a range of PCI configurations. Finally, at the bottom you get a removable dust filter for your power supply, which also means raised elevation for fresh air intake. Cracking this baby open, we get a good look at the Micro ATX motherboard tray surrounded by quality rubber grommets in all the right places, and there's even cutouts at the bottom of the board for tidily routing your front panel connectors. A compact yet spacious interior supports full-length graphics cards up to 318mm long and CPU cooler towers 192mm tall. Near the front of the case, a flat mounting wall can be used to house either one 3.5-inch drive, 2 2.5-inch drives, or a tube reservoir for custom water cooling. While the flexibility here is appreciated. The panel is held in place by 4 Phillips head screws, and I would have liked to keep the toolless theme going for easier installation. You also might have noticed that the lower area of the case is separated from the main interior by a shroud that spans the entire length of the case. Like the rest of the frame, the shroud is made of steel and features ventilation holes so that the lower GPU in your 2A configuration isn't starved for airflow. While there's a Phanteks badge facing the side panel window, beside it is a smartly placed cutout that reveals the side of your power supply while covering up any cable mess at the front end. At the front of the case, you'll find a hidden drive cage that holds 2 2.5 or 2 3.5 inch drives, which can be accessed from behind the motherboard tray. The 2 plastic caddies feature rubber grommets for reduced vibration and toolless mounting brackets for quicker installation of 3.5 inch drives. If you don't mind parting with the additional storage, the drive cage can actually be removed to fit power supplies longer than 180 millimeters. With the drive cage gone, you also have your pick of installing a water cooling pump with the included pump bracket, or mounting that 240 millimeter radiator when removing the shroud cover with its 2 thumb screws. Another smart move by Phanteks that offers a wide range of possibilities for custom water cooling. Now behind the motherboard tray, just beneath the large CPU cooler cutout, is a metal plate for a single 2.5 inch drive that can be mounted in one of 2 positions. Surely having only one drive here leaves more room for cable management, but I still would have liked to see a second mounting plate, particularly for water cooling enthusiasts who have just traded in their other storage options in the case for a tube reservoir and pump. Whether your motherboard is limited on fan headers or you're trying to consolidate your cables, a SATA-powered PWM fan hub supports up to 6 fans, which can be then controlled via your motherboard. During your build, cable management should prove to be hassle-free, with about an inch of space behind the motherboard tray and handy Velcro straps to keep wires in order. Additional tie-down points would have been a plus, but one could argue that the smaller form factor makes this less of an issue. As my first Phanteks case review comes to a close, the Evolv has left me with a great first impression of the Enthoo line, and a yearning to work with more of its innovative offerings. The case's full-size hardware support, albeit the motherboard, and extensive flexibility for custom water cooling definitely caters to the enthusiast crowd, where forfeiting the option of having options is not an option. Granted, it's not perfect, and there are a handful of minor issues that would need to be addressed for a 2.0 version. Though where the case falls short, it more than redeems itself by getting so many things right in both form and function. But let me know what you guys think of this case in the comments below, and don't forget to toss me a like on this video if you enjoyed it. Before I head out, I want to thank today's sponsor, Lynda.com. Planning to develop for the Apple Watch? Of course you're not! That's why Lynda.com grants you access to thousands of other non-Apple related tutorials, like this video on whatever that is. The tutorials are led by industry professionals, so while they're not quite as oddly amusing as a Minecraft tutorial gone wrong, you can rest assured that your lesson is coming from folks who actually know what they're doing. If you're ready to expand your mind without the use of hallucinogens, cruise over to lynda.com/awesomesauce for a 10-day free trial and learn something new today. I'm Kyle with Awesome Sauce Network. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all in the next video.